Okay, so what are some of the things that we are going to be drinking? Because there's water, but then I know sometimes in your cleanses you also have these wonderful sort of flavored waters.
We are going to have flavored waters, healing waters, I call them.
Healing water.
And we'll have a few ginger water recipe, but I came up with one I really like, and I call it air fire balance. Air, because sometimes at this time of year we feel dry, our skin, we feel a little
Yeah.
spacey, ungrounded. Fire, because we may get a hot flash or a little flushed, because we're coming out of summer, right? We have built up heat in our body. So built up heat along with drier of late summer. So I came up with this tea. It's a quart of water, a teaspoon of cumin seed, a teaspoon of coriander seed, and a teaspoon of fennel seed. You simmer it 15 minutes, you cool it, strain it, and sip it all day or over a couple days.
You have had this in your cleanses before.
Yes.
And I mentioned this actually because this is one of the ones I thought you might talk about. I went and I bought like the full Monty of CCFT, cumin, coriander, and fennel, right? That's what you just said?
Yes.
I don't like this. That's why I still have so much of it. What do you do when your palate is changing, right? Because
the palate is completely changing.
Yeah.
Wanting to make sure you're not steeping it too much, because then it could be like too strong.
Oh, steeping too long.
But that's really an important factor.
Yeah.
And these spices may be unusual to your palate, right? So that might have its first reaction. Steep too long, unusual to your palate.
Unknown. Yeah. I mean, I know it's an Indian food, but not in its like pure.
Right. Spice. Right? It's a warming spice. But there's another factor, is that your palate is used to meat, dairy, salt, flour. And when we eat that way consistently without cleanses, it changes our palate. And so give it a couple tries.
Yeah.
While you're in a cleanse, while you're parting the seas of animal proteins and dairy and flour, etc., try it and give it a couple chances. Your palate's going to change.
Right. What I hear you talking about is something that I actually talk when I was an early interventionist and had to help kids with feeding issues. And one of the things, once I earned their trust, I would say, do you know how many times you have to try something before you actually know that you don't like it or you do like it? Unless you like vomit when you eat it, and that's different.
Right.
Right? Because, you know, that keeps them engaged. And I was like, you have to try something 20 times. What? 20 times. You don't have to do an activity 20 times to know if you like it, but you do have to do it actually with your tongue. What do you think? And so I wonder if that is a true factor. I wasn't just making that up for the kids.
It's a palate thing, you know. We become accustomed to certain foods cooked a certain way.
Right.
Then we add something different and we go, ugh, because it doesn't register.
Right. Yeah.
Register. So we ease it in. We're clearing the palate and steep it a little less, maybe.
Right. I think that's a really good one. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me say this too, since we're talking beverages. It just came to me.
Okay.
Green tea gets a bad rap. You know why it gets such a bad rap? Because people steep it like black tea forever. Right. Green tea gets steeped 2 minutes.
Oh.
That's it. Or it will taste like mowed grass.
And I've had that. I've definitely had that happen.
Go back and try it again.
Right.
right?
I've built my palate around the green tea, but I'm still working on the Ayurvedic herbs.
I don't know their combo to their portions of each thing in that
Or the ratio, right?
ratio, so I
Mhm.
can't really speak to that.
Right.
I'll
Well, I'm going to give it a try. And
beautiful.
I hope others I hope this conversation helps others if they run into things where they're like, "Ooh, I don't like seaweed," or "I don't like chickpeas," or something like that. That it really is an opportunity to keep that curiosity and be like, I wonder if I just try this in a different way, or I put just a little amount of it. That was how I came to absolutely love raw krauts. I was raised on sauerkraut that was cooked for like 8 hours with hot dogs embedded in them, and I now sort of can't imagine, but I don't eat meat, red meat. But this stuff is the bomb, and I put it on every single salad. And I don't want to get gross or anything, but it totally works for my digestive system.
Yes.
So it's now good on the in, and it's also makes things good on the out as well.
And we'll talk about that.
And we will. I think it's really important.
It's a prebiotic and a probiotic. And
Right.
all you need is a tablespoon.
Yeah.
With a meal.
Yeah. And that's what I do. I just put, and it makes it so pretty.
It does make it pretty.
I love pretty.
It gives you that little pucker. It gives a pucker to your palate.
Yeah.
So all these little nuances
mm-hmm.
will come into this detox. And if we just stay curious.
Right. Nice. I love it. All right. Cool. Thank you so much for the deep dive on healing waters.
Thank you.